I guess maybe just to get right into it, 14 rural hospitals in the state are kind of at risk of closing. Are you doing anything to protect them?
Well, that's absolutely. My goal is to make sure all of our rural hospitals can remain open and continue to provide necessary care to our rural residents. I represent a rural district from Canada to Oregon. We are a very rural part of the state of Washington, so these are very important to me.
But you did vote for the Big Beautiful Bill, of course, which, the Washington State Nurses Association says at least 200,000 Washingtonians are at risk of getting kicked off of their Medicaid by the end of 2026. Do you think that's something you agree with?
I would not agree with that prediction. I think what we're trying to do is make sure that the program, Medicaid, is viable and can continue on into the future so that it can continue providing for those people who need it. That's the absolute goal of making some reforms so that the costs do not make it impossible for us to continue providing for Medicaid for the people that need it.
Yeah, but we already spend so much more per capita on healthcare than every other developed nation. Do you think it's, maybe going after the providers or the insurance companies rather than kicking working folks off their Medicaid is maybe a better way to go about it?
Well, I think it's looking at the entire picture. We're trying to make some positive changes to make the system as efficient as possible. And like I said, to make sure that the Medicaid program continues to exist. And so the underlying fact of the matter is Medicaid is going to continue we're going to continue increasing the funding toward Medicaid.
But you got $41 billion from the state budget.
We're at about that was the state budget, that wasn't me.
Sorry, the state, Washington's Medicaid from the federal government was cut by $41 billion in the Big Beautiful Bill.
Well, there's going to be some changes, absolutely, some reforms, and that's exactly what we were talking with folks from the hospitals about, and how do we deal with these changes, and how do they impact us, and how do we respond to those. And so, like I said, keeping the system viable is what's most important to me. Those people that need this program, I want to make sure that it's available to them. And it's hard. It's hard looking at things that have impacts on how people deliver care. But if we can figure it out so that we can keep the program as efficient and as viable as possible, that should be our responsibility to the American taxpayer and to the people that depend on the program.
Okay. What did you guys talk about here? Are you able to talk about any of that? About what you guys met with the hospital about?
Yeah, we spent, I don't know, an hour talking about a lot of different aspects of the changes that are in H.R. 1 and some of the things to expect and some of the responses and some of the things that we need to continue working on. And so, this is a continuing process. Legislation passes, becomes law, but we continue to look at how can it be improved, and that's why these kind of conversations are so important and vital, and that's why I'm happy to be here in Brewster today to visit with folks that are on the ground trying to make things work.
Okay. Yeah. I think these folks, I can give it up to them. I think they had some stuff they wanted to say as well.
Okay. Hi everybody. Where are y'all from?
From Okanogan County. I myself am from Omak.
Oh, good.
And a couple of others here are from here as well as Wenatchee area. Yeah, we're all part of a local group that's dedicated to knocking on thousands of doors, talking about issues of the working people.
Oh, good. Mm-hmm. I've done a little door knocking in my life, so I know how hard a work that can be.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Especially when it's 100 degrees out, right?
Yeah, we make it work, especially when these issues are very important to all of us and our neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thanks for being active and making your voices heard. That's important.
Yeah, thank you. I know we definitely sent many letters to you talking about our concerns, especially about the possibility of losing health care and also rural hospitals closing as well. I think these are concerns of hundreds and thousands of people in our communities, and so it's definitely a little bit concerning to not hear back from you really at all about these concerns that we have addressed.
Well, as you can imagine, and no excuses, but we've gotten literally thousands and thousands of emails and letters and calls, and so it's difficult to answer everyone personally, but they're in the process, and I appreciate hearing from you even regardless. So, it's all important. Good.
Congressman, respectfully, you made a choice to vote to make massive cuts to Medicaid and other public programs. And involved in that choice, it wasn't just about fiscal responsibility. Part of that choice was also making permanent tax cuts for the wealthiest people and corporations in our country. That was a choice that you made, and it doesn't feel like you're being accountable to that choice.
So the tax cuts that, or I should say the tax increases that we avoided by passing H.R. 1 apply to 98% of the American public. And so to say that it's just for tax cuts for the wealthy is just not accurate. Working families are going to see substantial reductions by continuing the tax cuts that were put in place in 2017. And so I think it's going to make more money available to people. People will be able to keep more money in their pockets to spend on their families and make investments into their futures. And I think it would have been irresponsible of me not to support a bill that prevents the largest tax increase in history, which is something that we're seeing right now in the state of Washington, as you probably know. A $9.5 billion tax increase in the state of Washington signed into law just this year. As a taxpayer of Washington, I'm not excited about that.
The reality is that people who need health care most are going to lose health care. Hardworking people are going to lose health care, and hospitals may need to close. That is a direct result of your vote.
So that, again, I was just talking to the gentleman here. The goal of the program is to make Medicaid and those services that people rely on, make sure that they are available on into the future.
But you're making them less available.
That's not the goal of the program, not at all.
That's what you did.
That's what you voted for.
That's what you did.
No, it did not. It did not.
Yes.
Those people that qualify for Medicaid will be able to continue getting those services.
But you're
And I wanna
reducing the people who qualify, the number of people who qualify. You're shrinking that pool.
And you're increasing the amount of red tape that working people have to go through.
That's a legitimate point. And that's something that we've talked about several times today on how to streamline that process of making sure that people don't just give up, but they can continue receiving those benefits if they qualify. And so that's one of the improvements that we're committed to making.
It sounds like you're trying to solve a problem that you created.
I would not characterize it that way. The paperwork problem was already an issue even before H.R. 1 came into place. It's always been an onerous task to fill out the government red tape, for sure, and needs improving.
Are you comfortable saying none of your constituents will lose their Medicaid?
I can tell you that every person that should be receiving Medicaid will continue to get Medicaid. If they qualify,
who
they
should
will
be
continue.
receiving it?
And that's my goal, is to make sure that these hospitals can continue providing those services.
You said people who should be receiving it?
Absolutely.
Who's
If they
that?
qualify, if they fall under the qualifications of Medicaid, then absolutely they should be getting it. Those people that do not, if they're able to work, they should be contributing to our communities. In order to qualify for Medicaid, if they have to do that, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
As a community-based group, we're committed to finding those constituents who
Okay.
disagree with you and who may be losing their health care, and we hope to raise their voices to you. And
Okay.
frankly, we don't have very much faith that you're going to be listening.
Well, I look at things a little more positively than you do. I do listen to the people I represent. I try to do the best thing for my district and the people I represent, for the majority of them. And certainly there will always be disagreements in however decisions I make or other people make. But I think working together we can come to long-term solutions, and that's the best way to do it.
Tens of thousands of Americans die every year because they don't have health insurance. Do you think that number is going to go up or down after what you voted for?
Keeping Medicaid viable is absolutely critical. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, and I want to make sure that the program is there for those people so that we don't lose people because they're not getting the medical services that they need. So, you can disagree with how we accomplish that goal, but making sure Medicaid and Medicare and those services that are there to help people in need, they've got to be viable programs. They have to be, and that's the goal of what we've been trying to accomplish.
We have time for one more question.
Okay.
I'll give it up to you guys if you'd like.
Thank you guys very much for your. Oh.
Yeah,
When do you
thank
plan
you.
to respond?
Pardon?
When do you plan to respond
Respond.
to the thousands of letters and pieces of correspondence that you've been receiving?
Well, if they're in my office, my staff is working on them right now. So, all right, thank you
Thank you guys
guys.
for your time.
Thanks for your interest in something that's very important to all of our communities, not just in Central Washington, but throughout the United States. So thank you for your input. All right, very good.
Appreciate it. I can grab
You
that.
probably want this back.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
I have a problem for you. I'm Dan Webster.
So am I. Daniel Webster. Yeah, that's a famous name.
Hey, what are your thoughts regarding President Trump's manipulation of the judicial system, steering the whole judicial system to his advantage?
What do you mean?
What do I mean?
Well, what's
Appointing cronies to that position, and
You mean a federal judge?
yeah, all sorts of federal positions within the court.
Well, I'm in the House, not the Senate. The Senate decides on those confirmations, and so there's a process in place for.
So you're not involved with that whatsoever.
Well, as far as certainly I can have an opinion on it, but I don't have a say in that process. I trust the Senate to look at the pros and cons of every nominee and hopefully make the right decision.
We need to get through next meeting. Thank you very much for your time.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Good to meet you. Mr. Webster.
Take care.
There's a
real
member of
quickly, please,
Congress.
I just would like to
Congress.
speak with just real quickly.
We are on a tight timeline.
Oh,
I'm happy
it's
to
just
give you my
very, very
information.
quick.
Yeah, very famous.
Congressman, this constituent has one last comment.
Sorry.
Hi, my name is Kendra. I live here in Okanagan County for my whole life. Yes, I'm a part of this local group here, Rural People's Voice, and I just want to share with you, I'm definitely a member here. I definitely have a lot of concerns. I'm a single mother to an autistic son, and right now, barely qualify for these Medicaid services. And so that is why I'm here today, because it's so important for us to share our voice and speak about these concerns. With
You will
this,
still
with these
qualify.
changes, we get worried because, well, I barely qualified even as is, and so to hear that this is happening, I work my butt off. When I'm not working, I'm there taking my son to occupational therapy, to speech therapy. I'm taking him to school. I'm having to advocate for him, and so it's just really hard on me and many others that are in the same boat that are so concerned about these changes and not qualifying. I know individuals that have adults that are needing care, and so they don't work because they have to help care for these individuals because they also don't care for, they don't get enough resources. We don't have enough as is, and so with it being taken away even more, we're losing more, not gaining more. And so we are so tired, and we keep raising our voices, we keep talking, and so it's just a little bit disappointing to hear you say, you haven't even read these letters that we sent months ago,
I didn't
or
say I hadn't read them.
or that
Because
you haven't
received
responded,
thousands,
that you've received thousands, but you have not responded.
We've responded
And so
to a
it's,
lot.
yes, well, we've knocked on many doors here, and none of the people that we have knocked on that, we seen them right. We also sent out mailers a lot as well, and not one of them have received a response from your office, and so that's very disappointing and very frustrating.
Well,
And so I just wanted to share my concerns here and let you know, as a single mother that lives in this county, that lives in your district, we're just very concerned and disappointed with the actions and the way that you have voted.
So you're going to be one of those that are going to be okay. You qualify, right? So for people to scare you into thinking that you won't, I think that's a tremendous disservice to you and many other people.
I think a bigger disservice, though, is you voting against the working people here that have voiced out that they wanted to see you stand with us and vote against this bill. And so I do hope that you have safe travels, and thank you for hearing me speak about our concerns too. Yeah.
Appreciate hearing it, and I think in the long run, we'll be okay. We'll be proven okay. That this was the right thing to do, to keep the program accessible to people who need it. But from your description, you're one of those.
Yes, well, I think it's definitely good to agree to disagree and everything, and I definitely hope that, you know, we can come together as working people and definitely show that as working people, we can fight for the things that we definitely need. And so, yeah, thank you.
We are running behind. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Yep.